Hello, everybody. Good evening, and happy Thursday. I have not been live all week, so it feels really good to take a few minutes as we are ending the day to do a check in with you guys. Um, Hop on and chat for a few minutes about all things productivity, mom life, and four types of action that we may be taking over the course of our lives. I'm Christina Garrett. If you're new here, if you stumbled into this space, I am your productivity coach. I am the voice in the back of your mind, reminding you to go all in, to show up for yourself, to deliver with strength, and then not to forget about practical self-care, your wellness journey, loving yourself, showing up strong for the people in your life, and then you actually can figure out how to do all the things but with boundaries and rest and clarity. And so this evening, I'm excited. We're going to be talking about four different types of action. I have not been live all week because it has been a really busy ministry week. We have some family stuff going on with one of our family members. And so just because we've had a lot of things going on, I was like, you know what, wave the white flag for a day or two. What we're going to do is pop back in Thursday night and have an amazing chat with you guys about showing up and delivering with excellence. Okay. I am live on both Facebook and Instagram. So, good evening to all of you who are popping in. I am so excited about the topic that we're going to discuss this evening. And some days it works out better where I go live early in the day or at lunchtime. Sometimes I go live late at night. It all depends on the Garrett family schedule. I know you all's children are probably starting school back this week. Yeah, I my kids are in like a million different programs this year for their homeschool co-op, and baby, I felt the blues this week. Hey, lady, I felt the blues. I said, this is a lot, a lot, a lot. So tonight, because so much has been happening, I wanted to hop on for a little while and discuss taking action. Okay, being an action taker. If you are here in this sphere. Okay, if you are here in my community, listening to the sound of my voice at least once, twice, some of us multiple days a week, we're live talking about balancing our families and our self-care and our missions and our growth and business and all these things. If you're here in this space learning all of this, you know that we are constantly driving you to be an action taker. So because it is early in August, I want you guys to talk back to me tonight, okay? I want you all to tell me, what is your big goal for the month of August? What is your big goal for the month of August? Okay. And that can feel a little overwhelming. Sometimes maybe you haven't yet considered what your big goal is for the month of August. Maybe you haven't yet deciphered in your mind exactly what it is that you want to see come to life this month. Okay. So some of my clients, they are working on taking their brand to the next level. Other clients are working on being more consistent, because consistency for some of us is the bane of our existence. Some of us are looking to delegate intentionally, where maybe we have been guilty in the past of swooping in and taking the responsibilities that we said we were giving away. Some of us said, I want to finish this book. Okay, whether you're writing it or reading one, either one is a notable goal. I'm not sure yet what my goal is for the month of August, but it is absolutely to continue with consistency. We have some really incredible higher level opportunities that are rolling out. And so I thank God for that. I also want to continue to serve you guys as we move towards the Mamathon Conference, October 28th through 30th in Atlanta. As we're doing that, I'm excited about partnering with amazing businesses and just serving my mom community at the next level. Okay. So I am grateful for sponsors who are showing up and saying, hey, we want to help you bless young moms who maybe financially can't afford to attend the event, but we know they need to be there. We want to sponsor those tickets. So that for me is the ultimate goal for this month, is to make it possible for women who cannot usually attend to come out and spend that time with us. Okay. So 4 types of action. 4 types of action. Hi, Shalonda. Shalonda's goal for the month of August. Sounds like you're in the right place. She says, being intentionally present for our children, because I am a mom that's doing all the things. You are in the right place, and we are glad you are here. Okay. You might have to message me and let me know what all the things mean. What does all the things mean? A lot of us are doing all the things, and it feels like we are not entitled. What's the word I'm looking for? We are assigned to the life of doing all the things. It's like there's no other option but this plethora of overflowing ideas and opportunities and things I have to say yes to. I'm not sure how to say no to certain things and create these boundaries I need to. And on top of that, I still feel my self-care lacking in some places, my wellness journey I need to delegate. It's a whole thing. So we understand. I don't know if you guys can still hear my kids. They're still awake, right? For those of y'all that don't know, I'm a mom of 5 and we homeschool. So, I understand what it means when you say I'm doing all the things. Sometimes we have ladies come and get on a client call and they just start dumping. They're like, okay, I know I need help. I know I need support. Here's my life in a big bowl, and right now it's overflowing. So I'm giving all of this to you, all these ideas and tasks and to-do lists and schedule and my desires at the same time. Here. Let's figure out what we're going to do with this. And so that is always my privilege and honor to be a part of you all's journeys in that way. Okay. So tonight we are talking about the 4 types of action. Okay. 4 types of action. And I want, as you listen to this, whether you're listening now or you're one of the dozens of women who come back and hear the replay, I want you to tell me, if you dare to be honest, what type of action taker you are. What type of action taker are you? Okay. The 4 types of action, or your 4 choices, come from this amazing book, The 10X Rule. Okay. The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. And while he is walking a life that is very different than ours, this book is gold. Do y'all hear me? This book is gold. And it helps me a lot of times to stay mindful of what kind of action are we taking today? And I want you all to do these inner checks. I want you to ask yourself, am I an action taker? And if so, which kind? Because even inaction is action. We've all heard that before. Okay, we've all heard that before. So here are your 4 choices. What kind of action taker are you? Number 1, you do nothing. I don't think most of us are in this category. You do nothing. 2, you retreat and move backwards. 3, you take normal levels of action. And 4, you take massive, exponential action. Okay. So first degree of action, he says, doing nothing is exactly what it sounds like. No longer taking actions to move yourself forward in order to learn, achieve, or control some area of your life. People who do nothing in their career, relationships, or whatever they want have probably given up on their dreams and are now willing to accept pretty much whatever comes their way. Now, most of us will not qualify ourselves as being someone who has the first degree of action. I'm going to tell you guys, even as a productivity coach, is before my coach days, when I had my twins, right? You guys know my twins were my second, number 2, and number 3 children. Okay. I was so exhausted. I see you, Shalonda. I was so exhausted after having them that first year, those first 2 years, that I did not have it in me to correct things when they needed to be corrected. Okay. And there can be moments where, maybe not in every area of our lives, but in certain areas of our life where we are so exhausted, so drained, so depleted that we do not fix different areas of our lives. So maybe in your career area, you are full steam ahead. Maybe in your career, you're full steam ahead. But when it comes to telling your children and instructing them and taking time to teach them about what God says and about how the house should operate and about what chores are and things like that, here you take no action. Now, there's the thought that how we do one thing is how we do everything, but I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's the case. I'm gonna be honest with you. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. So I feel like you can have a do nothing attitude. You can have a do nothing attitude for just a particular area of your life where your kid does wild out. They fall out, for example, fall out on the floor, roll around, stop, drop, and roll because they don't like something. They talk back because they're not feeling something that you said or a mandate that you put in place. All these kind of things, as if they pay rent, as if your kids pay rent. We do all of these things only to find out later, this is where I'm not taking action. All this time, this was my place. It's not everywhere. It's just this one particular area in my life where I am taking a do nothing action. Okay. He says there are a lot of places where we could take massive action, but this, and I dare to say that there are sometimes a single area where we are not doing all the things that we need to do. Number two, the second degree of action is you take actions in reverse. You actually retreat. Retreaters are those who take action in reverse, probably to avoid negative experiences that they imagine will come as a result of taking action. The retreater personifies the fear of success phenomenon. Now, let's be honest just for a second. Have you ever feared success? I have. Have you ever been afraid of success? Even though we run towards it, we chase after this the winning season that they're singing about on the radio. It's my winning season. We name it, we proclaim it, all these things. But some of us are actually afraid of winning. Some of us are actually a little phobic. We have a fear of success phenomenon. I don't even know if I can handle more. I don't know if I can handle next level. I'm barely holding on with my marriage and my kids now. I'm barely holding on now in this season. How in the world will I handle? I'm in this place right now because I have a certain vision. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have time for this right now. How will I work out doing all these other things too? We're now moving and transitioning towards longer term partnerships with universities and working with women who are female founders and CEOs and coaches, like athletic coaches and WNBA. Like, it's happening, it's unfolding, right? So now I'm like, wait a minute. How does your bandwidth even fit all of this? Now, what I could do is take the second type of action. I could say, I'm not sure how all this will come together or what should I do. So I'm just going to stop and drop this particular service off of the coaching that I offer, period. Because I'm not sure how all of that will come together. Instead of dropping it off, what would happen if we walk towards the thing that scared us? What would happen if we shook off? What would happen if we shook off that fear? But he says retreating is an action that actually requires effort and hard work. It's not normal human behavior to retreat. Normal, healthy human behavior is walking towards something to advance and conquer it, to dominate it. It's not for you to move backwards. But how many times are we concerned about how something will unfold before us? So we stop, and sometimes we even shut down some things that we know are for us, but it feels daunting. He says, and I want to highlight this, he says we might even be encouraged to retreat by a work associate, a friend, or family member who feels we are too ambitious or focused on a single area of our lives. Now, I want to highlight this because I have a client who was dealing with this exact challenge, where she said about certain family members who couldn't understand why she was doing all she was doing. So it impacted her confidence. And I was like, sis, listen, we don't play small. Everything we do, like Shalonda, is taking massive action. This is just what we do. This is how we show up to the party. It's 10 o'clock at night. This is how we show up. We'll be alive for lunch and learn tomorrow. This is how we show up. This is what we do. We don't play small. How are we the city on a hill and the light that cannot be extinguished, but we hide ourselves? I was like, we don't retreat. But sometimes there have been people in our lives that have told us that's not possible. You're thinking too big. This is what I see for you versus what God has shown you for you. Making those adjustments. The third degree of action, people who take normal levels of action. And he says this is usually the type that we see the most in our current society. Okay? This is what we see the most in our current society. The people who take normal levels of action. I'm going to show up just enough. I'm going to my job. I'm going to do just enough. The coach or whoever said I need to do this to grow my business, I'm going to do just that, and then wonder why I have average results when I take average action. Some of us are wondering why we have average results. It's because we're taking average action. And so our lives reflect this average. Our marriages reflect this average. Our businesses reflect average. We are not pursuing exceptional intentionally. We are fine with average instead of excellence. At what point do you decide? At what point do you decide that you're going to do something different? And a lot of us are okay with doing just enough. We're okay with doing just enough. Hey, sis. To say, okay, I made it. I did it. I checked this off. And so Grant Cardone says that most of us are addicted to the average action. He says average by definition assumes less than extraordinary. Now, you may not apply this to every area of your life, but I want an extraordinary marriage. I want an extraordinary relationship with my children. I want my brand to be extraordinary. Somebody reached out to me about PR yesterday. She was reaching out to me about PR, and she was like, we've helped our clients get into Essence, Forbes, Aisha Curry, Sweet July, here and here. And I was like, in total transparency, thank you for that. I said, but I work with Essence Magazine twice this year. We filmed with them earlier this year. I was like, I've done Forbes, Washington Post, Red Table Talk, Sweet July, Yahoo Parents, ding, 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 no publicist. No publicists, just hunger. Just hunger. Knowing that what we build here in this community is extraordinary, exemplary, embodying excellence. Then when I work with a client, right? When I'm working with my clients, it's like, no, we got to think bigger. You got to do more. You said you want to be here. When they Google you, what do they see? Inconsistency? So we have to ask ourselves, am I an average action taker? Am I average in my marriage? Am I doing just enough? Or am I doing these little extra things? Hello there. Am I doing these extra things in my home, in my relationship that I know are going to show him love and bless him and build him up? Am I doing just enough in my relationship with my kids? Because some of us are making it through. We're surviving parenting instead of having this thriving relationship with our babies. Like I want, and I'm gonna say this, Shalonda, I'm gonna say this. I have been a mom who I love my kids, but I didn't like mothering them all the time. I'm candid enough to say that. As a young mom, I had 3 children aged 2 and under. I was not okay. Then God was like, you're going to homeschool your kids. And I was like, you found the wrong one. Not me. No, ma'am. And I had to learn how to enjoy my children, not endure my mothering journey, and hold my breath to feel like myself again once they went off to college. I don't want to wait for my life to start, my awesomeness that I know God put in here. I didn't want to wait for that to come to life. I still got, my youngest is 4. Youngest of my 5 kids is 4. I got 13, 14 years. Y'all hear me? Until I got an empty nest. So how do I create exemplary memories, love, communication? You know, my teen son, he's over communicating right now. He's telling me everything. I'm like, baby, isn't this a conversation for you to have with your dad? You don't want to go tell your dad about that? He's like, well, Mom, you're the one that's here. Okay, all right. So in all areas of our lives, we want to be more than, LaShawn, it's a struggle, more than average action takers. Y'all hear me? And sometimes the most common thing in our society is to take normal speed towards our thing. And then whenever you see somebody who is not playing no games, who's not playing any games, she's not hiding, she's not pressing pause, she's not doing just enough, she's not showing up just enough, she's committed to next level everything, as one of my favorite speakers would say. She's committed to that. We go into the 4th type of action, which is massive action, exponential action. Intentionally being present, doing things on purpose, showing up with integrity, showing up consistently, doing everything you know to do, because as a child of God, I'm never stuck. I'm never without resources. I'm never without a plan. I'm never without a next move. Some days we sit and we feel stuck like in one place, and it's because we forgot whose child we are. I'm never without a resource. Have I tapped into those resources? Have I tapped into my own creative resourcefulness? Like that resourcefulness, that creativity inside of you is like next level. It's next level. It is the culmination of God Himself inside of you saying, yes, you can. The question is, how will you do it? Tapping into the person that you're supposed to be. Going all the way, doing all the things. Hi, baby. Doing all the things and not letting your foot up off the gas until you reach the goal. I knew inside my heart it was going to take too long for Essence Magazine to find me on their own. How viral do I have to go? I don't even know. It was going to take too long. So what do I need to do in order to show them I'm somebody that you all need to know? Like, y'all don't know about me in this productivity mom coaching vibe? Y'all ain't heard about me yet? Let me introduce myself. Taking massive action into the direction of your goal, of your dream, for your family. Relentless because you have God himself inside of you who gives you the power to create your own results. So you have this do nothing level of action. You got retreating action where you thought you were doing something, but you know what? I'm just going to close this down right here because, I feel like it's just going to be too much. You have not yet felt the too much. You haven't even felt the too much yet, but in your mind, you're already playing over it's going to be too much. So I have certain clients who are nervous about going for promotions because what they have now is already overwhelming. They're nervous about taking on more clients or doing things like that. And it's like, well, listen, how about we lessen the petty stuff? How about we lessen the things that are just time absorbent? How about we hold you accountable for what you said you were going to accomplish so that you have coaching support, emotional support, family support? What would your life look like if you stopped doing chores in your house? What would your life look like? How could you focus differently if you weren't doing these other smaller things on your to-do list? What would life look like if you weren't hovering over and micromanaging? What would life look like if you marketed intentionally? What would life look like if you took massive action instead of number 2, retreating action? I'm actually waving a white flag on some things because it feels too overwhelming. Something internally says, I'm not even going to try. I'm just going to leave this alone. Number 3 is that average action. I'm going to do just enough to say I did something. Did you? Did you do something? Some ladies, when it comes time to, and the reason I'm a productivity coach and this is multifaceted, right? It's multifaceted because we talk about marriage and we talk about children and we talk about home management. And sometimes we're talking about public relations and business building and what your coaching package should look like. We're doing all this stuff. Hi, best friend. We're doing all of these things, right? And so as a coach, I'm saying, I'm looking at this eagle eye picture. This eagle eye picture of all the things that y'all bring in this basket to me and say, this is what I'm looking at. This is what's stressing me out. I ain't got no edges, right? This is what's stressing me out. How do I navigate this part? And so for me as a coach, I'm looking at the eagle eye version. I'm looking at that part. And I have found across the board that we will do a couple steps in this area, a couple steps in this area, a couple steps over here, instead of looking at this all-inclusive picture and saying all of this funnels into the other. Each one funnels into the other thing. So being intentionally present, showing up on purpose as we build our businesses, our brands, our missions. Most of the work with are in professional realms. They are, now that I'm shifting so much more and talking to these female founders and these CEOs and women in HR and women in diversity and inclusion and trainers for the trainers and coaches and all these things. And I met another amazing young lady today who was like, listen, this is incredible. And I want to introduce you to the ladies at my church who work at university, and they're professors and lawyers and all these things. And they're like, listen, they need this stuff. Because when you are a leader who is taking care of others and a family, this is a different ballgame. She was like, I didn't know people like you existed. I said, I don't know about people, but I'm here. And I talk about delegating in my sleep so that you get more done without burning out, okay? So I have found across the board that most of us take average action. And I'm going to say, in our minds, good evening, ladies, in our minds, most of us are taking average action, but in our minds, we lie to ourselves. We lie to ourselves and we tell ourselves that we're taking massive action when we're not. In our minds, we tell ourselves that we are taking massive action. I'm doing so much. I'm killing the game. I'm showing up for hours and hours a day. When in reality, we are not taking massive action, exponential action. We are average at best. And that is frustrating. And some of our minds are whirling right now, trying to figure out if that's you. Some days, it can be all of us, where we say to ourselves, oh my gosh, I've just done so much today. Oh my goodness, I just did all these things. And I really worked hard on my business today. I really worked hard on getting these things together. I really worked hard. If you have 8 hours, 6 hours, 4 hours, 90 minutes of hardcore, I went after my dream today, what does that look like for you to give a progress report to me on a consultation call tomorrow? What does that look like? What does your report look like? And sometimes we need to evaluate ourselves. We need to do a self-evaluation because often we are taking no action, going backwards, doing average action, but lying to ourselves and telling ourselves, I am a massive action taker. Are you really? And here's how you know. First off, only you know if you're lying to yourself. That's number one. First of all, only you know if you are lying to yourself. Only you know that. Okay. Only you know if you're doing just enough, like you're trying to pitch your business to whomever or segue for some, hi, LaShawn, I love you, girl. Trying to segue into some new opportunities and all this stuff, but you have sent no emails. None. Not one. I want to be, there was one young lady in our last Mamathon reset cycle when we call our group coaching program is called the reset. So I said, okay, well, since you want to do X, Y, and Z, I'm not going to say what she wanted to do because she may know. I was like, so this is what you need to do. I need to see you show up and tell people about it and talk about it on the internet. This was the one thing she was not willing to do. So you want to be the next big pillow maker, hypothetically speaking. You want to be the next big pillow maker, candle maker, florist, name it. And you don't want to show up and tell people that this is what you're doing so that they can hire you for it? I am confused. The worst kind of deception is self-deception. The worst kind of deception is self-deception. Sometimes maybe we trying to lose 20 pounds, like me and my best friend. We on our get sexy, get fit journey, right? And what sometimes I'll be like, yeah, girl, I worked so hard this week. I did everything right. But then you, I don't know, put on a pair of jeans and they on clothes That has not happened to me. Thank you, Jesus. But you put, for example, you put on a pair of jeans and they don't close, or you look down at your water bottle and you're supposed to drink 100 and you drunk 30. Are you lying to yourself and telling yourself, oh, I'm doing so good. Oh, I'm working so hard. Oh, I am really pursuing my dream. I am really checking off all this stuff, but you are not leaning on your God-given creativity to create your own results. You are not leaning into action that it takes in order to produce it. We just deceiving ourselves. The Bible says a person that goes and looks in the mirror and walks away and forgets what they look like, deceives themselves. Can we lean into this principle tonight? Just for these last few minutes, can we lean into this principle this evening that some of us are telling ourselves that we are taking significant steps? We're doing the work. Why are my results not showing how hard I'm working? Why are my results not showing how significant these moves are? And at a certain point, y'all, at a certain point, I told myself, I said, you know what? I want my receipts to speak for themselves. So someone the other day, they said, oh, listen, I'm not sure about, this service or whatever, blah, blah, blah. How should I look you up? I said, just Google Christina Garrett and Mamathon. Here's my media kit. You don't have to be excited about me. The rest of the world is. Keep it moving. We're going to be coaching for the WNBA by next year. I said Essence. I'll say this too. So I wasn't looking for that company's validation. I wasn't looking for it. Hey, PR person to tell me that I need you, unless you're getting me on Good Morning America. This is the next thing. This is where this is all going. We're revolutionizing women's productivity through healthy self-care and self-awareness and delegating and better communication and understanding the symptoms of emotional overwhelm and burnout so you can help yourself before you get to the edge. All of this in a practical way, because I got 500 kids over here and a whole chocolate husband. So I understand. So what I had to say to myself is, what kind of action am I taking? And then the receipts. Okay. How do you know what kind of action you're taking? How do you know what kind of action you are taking? Here's how you know. The results and the receipts will tell you. The results, the receipts will tell you about your level of action. They'll say it. How committed are you to this process? It'll say it. How passionate are you about this mission? Your results are going to say it. Who have you collaborated with to take this to the next level? Results are going to say it. Your results are going to speak for themselves. Can people look and see results? And many of us, we tell ourselves, I'm taking all the action. I'm doing all the things. I'm going hard after the goal. But our results are saying, no, you're not. Our results are telling us what the result is. The work we're putting in is telling us. So there were days when I had to settle within myself. Okay, this week, my results spoke for themselves. This week, my email was full of people who were like, yeah, are you available next week for a meeting for this to support this school district with wellness workshops? Oh, wow, you can support my student athletes at this university and me too because I'm a mom coach. I can. Oh, snap. Let me send a thank you email to this person at Essence Magazine for having me in the July August issue. Results speak for themselves. What are your results saying? Is your work showing that you're committed to the process, to the goal that you said you wanted? Nobody else made you. Nobody else made you want this. Feel this deep down inside your soul. Nobody else made you want this. This, whatever the goal was that you put in your heart, you came up with this. Or God said it and you agreed. Nobody else forced you to dream this dream or see this vision. You said you wanted this different life. You said that you wanted to create this legacy for your family. You said this is the kind of mom that you wanted to be. You said this is the kind of wife that you want to be. You said this. You said this is the atmosphere that I want for my home. You said this is the level I want my brand to be on, my coaching to be on. You told me that. You mumbled that inside of your heart, like Mary pondered what the angel said. The Bible says she pondered it in her heart. You have pondered these things inside of your heart. You've been thinking about it. You're the one that said it out loud. You're the one that you're keeping it in your mind, and it's on the vision board, and it's all these places. You said you wanted this. And what we do sometimes is we tell ourselves, we really do make up a good story too, don't we? We make up some good stories. We tell ourselves, oh, I worked so hard today. When what we're really doing is busy work. Oh my goodness, somebody, I don't think she's watching tonight. She was talking about my family needs, they run on me. I'm the one that makes everything in this house spin, da da da. I'm the one that does this work. I'm the one, blah, blah. I'm the one that gives life into this house. I told my family I'm the one. And all I said back to her was, how is this working out for you? This story that you have turned into reality, this thought pattern that we are consistently rehearsing, how has this turned out for you? Some of us, we see what we need to have and then we retreat because it's scary. It is. It's scary. Doing something new, scary. And our brains instantly tell us, go back to the comfort. Like a cold January morning, and you get out the bed, you stick your foot out, and you're like, oh, no, it's cold. Like somebody come and wake me up with coffee in hand and the robe and the fuzzy slippers. Like I stuck my foot out, I touched a little bit. That's uncomfortable. And one of the things that my coach was saying, as I'm learning and growing, is the thoughts and habits and patterns that we have that kept us, that feel good to us. And I was sharing this with my husband. We were just talking through it. So sometimes we have these thoughts and habits that we have done all this time. We know we need something new, but we tend to revert back to what we used to do, which has produced for us the life that we have right now that you have told me that you want to change. We go back to, I got it, I can do it myself. I feel nervous about taking this step. All these things, like it's okay to feel that way. I told someone the other day on a consultation call. I was like, I said, your brain is gonna go haywire after this call. I said it's going to go haywire because we as humans want to be comfortable. We want to stay in our cushy warm bed with the electric blanket on the January morning when there's snow outside. I do not want to get out of this comfort. So our brains are going to do everything in its power to make sure that we stay in this comfortable place. Taking massive action is uncomfortable, but average action feels good. Average action tells me I'm doing just enough. I did do something. I'm doing just enough. Instead of running towards this goal that you have in your mind, as if this is all the time you have. If you only had 2 hours a day to work on your business, what would you do? What would you do? One of my hours, I would show up here and remind y'all to go be consistent. Because y'all, that's what y'all bring me on to do. Is to help you look at the bigger eagle-eye picture of your family, your home, your marriage and relationships, your business, if you're working in corporate, all this kind of stuff. You want me to look at this big picture and say, what are we going to throw away? What are we going to keep? What are we going to do more of? That's why I'm here as the coach. So then you got to ask yourself, if I only had this amount of time, if I only had this much energy, because some of us, we got families and we're working and we're doing the things. I don't have all day to be Superwoman. What do I have energy to do? Okay. So we got taking no action, doing nothing. We have retreating, because sometimes we have a fear of success phenomenon going on where I know that this could work. But because I'm just sure it's going to be too much, I'm going to take a step back. I'm not even going to test the water and see. I was telling my best friend earlier, I was like, I'm so proud of you for, she was working in a certain career path. She realized it wasn't for her. It was too much. I said, but girl, you went all the way in. You did that, sis. And then you made the decision to pivot again. This is beautiful. When we want our daughters to grow up and say, yeah, mom, I didn't really like it. So I just decided to change directions instead of assigning myself to misery for the next 30 years of my life. That who I am today is a culmination of decisions. And now I get to make some more decisions to turn into a new version of me. So we have doing nothing. We got retreating, because sometimes we have a fear of success. So we just start doing less, right? Or we decide to close off something and say that this is not for us in order to save ourselves in a way, in order to not end up freaked out, scared, or to say, I made a mistake. We will retreat in order to say, in order to avoid saying I made a mistake. Number 3 is average action, where we do just enough to get by. And what we do with average action, or even retreating, or even doing nothing, we will lie to ourselves and say that we are taking the 4th type of action, massive action, exponential action, these strategic moves, like your butt is on fire towards that goal. We will tell ourselves, I work 2 hours, and then lie it to yourself. Say, oh, I've been working all day. No, you haven't. You did 2 hours. Tomorrow, whatever we do, tell yourself the truth. Be honest. What action steps am I going to take tomorrow? I got a meeting with somebody at Nike tomorrow. Bet. What else is happening tomorrow? Some other great things happening tomorrow, too. I get to work with some of my amazing clients tomorrow. Women who work in powerhouse leadership positions, female founders, CEOs, women who are planet shakers in their own right. And now they want to take it to the next level by organizing their schedules and their lives too. And families, because we just don't do all the things. We opt out of doing all the stuff. So some of us, we are telling ourselves we're taking massive action. And here's what Grant Cardone says about massive action. And I really like this. I commended one of my friends, Kiana, for this the other day, because she is killing the game in like providing these coachings, like these coaching services to schools and universities and all the things. And I was like, this is dynamic. She said, it says massive action is the level of action that creates new problems. Massive action does what? It creates new problems. And some of us are still working on the same goals and we're looking at the same problems. And that's how we know that we're not taking massive action. We still have the same problems that we did 6 months ago, a year ago, 5 years ago. We still taking the same amount of action. So this is how we know that we're doing just enough. Is we're not creating these new magnanimous challenges or issues and things. This year, I'm like, who does work at Good Morning America? I would never say to myself, how do I do that? I would never say to myself, how do I sell a whole wellness package to universities for athletes? Me? I would never think this is the next level of client that we're working towards. At one point, I was all over the place. I work with anybody, any woman. Do you love God? I do too. Let's work together. Now I strategically partner with ambitious moms who have a lot going on, and they usually have multiple children because they want a coach who knows about what it's like to have this crazy family dynamic in a house full of kids. They want to know that their person has that similar background, that she's proficient in that way. Right? She's proficient that way. So everybody has their person. And what I want you to ask yourself is, am I creating new problems? Am I going to a place where maybe I'm asking somebody, everybody doesn't know the answer? I got to be real strategic about how I go find the answer. Am I hearing people who are comfortable at average action, and now I'm strategically going to find the people who are taking massive action? Okay. I'm now looking for those people who are going all in, who are doing it with excellence, who are showing up consistently. That's who needs to be in my Rolodex. That's who needs to be in my circle, in my sphere. Those people who are going all the way. One of my good friends, she has a homeschooling organization, and I was so proud of her because she was like, listen, how do I pitch about X, Y, and Z? This news station, this whatever. I said, just put this in your email. I said, and then let me know what happens, right? Because she knows if she wants to hit a media spot, we. And so then she's like, I got the email back. I got the interview. She been everywhere, in the newspaper, on television, on Rolling Mark, everywhere, right? Massive action. We're not slowing down. We're taking all the steps ahead. We are not slowing down. We're going all the way. And so as we go all the way, you will see yourself start to create new problems. You will see yourself hearing other people who are okay with average action. Okay? They're okay with that. You will hear other people saying, if you are taking massive action, the people that need to suffer, quote unquote, are the people who don't understand the grind, or the people who are not getting it, we got to drop them off. We got to kick them to the curb, all this kind of stuff. And eventually some people even say, oh, your husband doesn't understand why you got to stay up and work all night. Girl, he's just jealous of you. Y'all know how we do, what we've heard. And so it's so important as you become a massive action taker that you intertwine your balance, that you're paying attention to your self-care and self-awareness, and that we do not practice self-deception, that we are telling ourselves we running up behind it and killing the game, and we're actually just barely doing enough. Yeah? All right. That's it for tonight, everybody. I love you all dearly. If there's any way that I can help to support you in your mom life journey, if you are a woman who is serving, nurturing, showing up, you got big dreams, big goals, but sometimes it feels like in the grand vision of your life, there is so much on this plate, it's overflowing. I often say that needing to do organization, like managing our lives and our mindsets and our schedules, is proof that God answers prayer. Because at one point in time, we were praying for this significant other. We were praying for these children. We prayed for this job, for this business, for this bigger home. We asked God for these things. Sometimes feeling overwhelmed is proof that God answers prayer. He gave you what you asked for. God is a promise-keeping God. When you ask him for abundance, he will give you abundance. And then he will give you the tenacity and the work ethic and the mindset to go with it, to go after the goal. But sometimes in the midst of going after that next big thing, that next level, as we're working towards it, we're trying to figure out, how do I manage this full plate that I have? And that's where I come in as a productivity coach, a homeschooling mom of 5. I have worked with and served thousands of moms around the globe with everything they need to get more done by strategically doing less. Okay. So if you need help, you need support with being more intentionally present, like Shalonda said, with taking more than average action and then sorting through when you create new problems, with managing your family life, your home, your goals. It's a lot. It's a lot. So if you need help and support, y'all know where the DM button is. Feel free to slide on in there. I'm excited about the week that's coming up, and hopefully tomorrow. I usually try to do a Good Friday lunch and learn. So we'll be live around noon tomorrow to do a check-in. Okay. Love y'all so much. Have an incredible night. Thank y'all for hanging out with me this evening, and we will catch you guys tomorrow. Hey, Queena. Thank you, girl. I'm glad you're here. So good to see you. And you are awesome too. Looking forward to chatting with you again soon. All right. Love y'all so much, and we will see you guys tomorrow. Good night.